I'm only going to play like a minute of this because.
Yeah. Oh, you're not doing that with me? We're no Snuggles? Oh. It's like they heard the music start and we're like, nope, you're not allowed.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. All right, guys. You know, we have other things to do, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, ma'am. Oh, I thought that button stopped it, but apparently it makes it restart again.
Whoopsie. We'll figure it out.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you this morning?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm here. I'm awake.
Yeah.
I'm dressed. I'm bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, as they say.
That's good.
Well, okay, that would be a lie. I'm here.
We're here.
That is the non-lie.
Yeah.
Is that I am here.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys need to just pick your spot on the couch. You guys are our little couch mascots. There you go.
There you go, Charlotte.
Good girl.
Good job, baby girl.
There you go. Now, Jeffo, you can go.
He's like, what? Mom, don't tell me what to do. I am here.
Did you just throw your toy?
He did. He's throwing a little temper tantrum right now. There we go.
He wants ass rubs, and he's an ass dog.
You're such a good boy.
He's an ass man.
Hi, handsome. Hi, handsome.
And he's so funny. If anybody could see him, because I have to kind of cut off.
He's being a little demanding right now.
Yeah, what he wants is he wants. Let's see. Here we go. He wants her to rub his butt.
He does.
He loves his butt rubs.
Yep.
And that's all he wants is you to rub his butt. And he will literally come up to you, circle you, and when you stop, he'll do the same thing. He'll stare you down, then he'll look at you, then he'll spin around, and then come back and give you the butt again.
You're like, hello, sir.
Like, and if it's the first time, he'll walk up, spin around, and then back up with his butt at you like a truck. Yeah, his face is like, excuse me, who told you you could stop? He's so funny.
You're such a
okay,
good
that's
boy.
Enough, Jethro.
Mom said no.
We're trying to do a
Don't
show
yell
now.
at me. Yell at Mom.
We're trying to do a show now, sir.
Mom said no.
No. No more. No more. Go get your toy.
Oh,
get your
such
ball.
a good boy.
Get your squeaker. Get your ball. Get it. Get it. Get it. Get it. Yeah, there you go.
There we go.
There you go. Now you can play with your toy.
Is my mic on a little?
Your mic is on. Can you hear?
No.
How about now?
Woo!
Oh, can you hear?
There it is.
Hey, there you go.
Ta-da.
Hi.
Hi.
All
we
right.
always have this discussion every time.
We do.
I know.
And I don't remember that I turn it down, but apparently I turn it down all the time. So
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
That's part of the.
That doesn't bother me none.
Okay. There's only one of the dogs gets in the camera because it doesn't go all the way to the floor and the couch at the same time. So only my princess is in the picture.
Yeah. She's like you.
Anyway,
Good morning.
I know you've had a lot of pain and stuff with your shoulder. How is your shoulder actually doing?
It's okay.
Without lying.
Yeah. I'm just tired. I don't do well with things like this. So I'm surviving. It's just a friendly reminder to myself that I'm a big fat wuss.
Well, I mean, it really is hard because you're very much into fitness and health and trying to stay fit. And you go to yoga,
And Pilates and all
or
those
Pilates.
things. Yeah.
You go to Pilates. She goes to Pilates like how many days a week?
4.
4 days a week.
Yeah.
And are you able to do any Pilates right now?
No, Jesse did his first 2.0 class today.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm really jealous.
So what's 2.0?
It's a whole nother level.
It's a higher level.
Yeah. and it's just a lot more challenging.
So I would be at the negative 2.0 class.
Honestly, it's a level of something
Intensity.
Yes, but it's a whole different challenge and it's so funny too because that was a goal that I wanted for this year, and I was all excited to do.
You'll get it. You'll get
Yeah.
it. You just have to,
But yeah, so
Well, and I'm sure once you work with the therapist for a while, because they're not going to do surgery, right?
That not on my shoulder. If they do surgery, it would be on my neck, and I'm not going for that. That is not a goal for me.
Now, is that something that's been happening, or did that happen from the fall?
It's been there for a while.
Okay.
So
Did it get exacerbated from the
it did.
fall?
Yeah.
Because I'm sure you jerked your neck pretty good when you fell.
Yeah. So yeah. So
So warning to people out there, when you see ice,
just don't be nice about it.
just don't walk on it.
Turn
Just
around.
turn around and go the other way. And I feel really bad because
no.
you
It's
you did a trip and fall off the ice coming out to greet me. But then you went on the trip and didn't say hurt. I mean, I knew it hurt.
Yeah.
You were saying it hurt, but you were, for the most part, you did not know that it hurt as bad as it hurt.
Right.
Because you did suck it up quite a bit.
did.
You literally followed the assignment.
Yep.
She did. But that's also something that can make something worse is when you
when you just blow it off.
yeah. Because carrying all the heavy bags and doing things like that we had to tussle out of the car
Yeah.
and then upstairs and then back downstairs and climbing on the car.
It was a fun experience, actually. That
Yeah.
was a good time. Yeah, and I got to be my husband for a weekend and step into his shoes.
And you said, I don't like it.
I know.
You do the man
Nope.
stuff.
Yeah.
I prefer you do the man
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny because when and this probably is a good segue onto self-care and self-love. When I met my husband, I was single for a long time.
Right.
And I didn't need a man.
Right.
And I see it as two different ways. I don't need you. I want you in my life.
Right.
I want you to be a part of my life. I don't need you because I could climb up on my roof and fix my roof
Right.
if I needed to. I could do anything I needed to do myself. Now, for you, you've been married for a long time.
Yep.
So you probably don't even remember being single and doing stuff completely by yourself.
Well, he did a lot of deployments and he did a lot of other things.
True. When he
and
was deployed, you're a single woman.
Yeah.
Well,
I always
not
found
single,
it funny that because there was a time when he would be gone 7 to 10 months a year, and for the OIF, and he'd come home and he wouldn't even be home, And there was at one point, like the toilet had broke, and he was getting ready to fix it or whatever, and he was just kind of staring at it, and I came running through, and I turned the toilet water off, and I'm fixing things, and he's like, "Where did you learn to do that?" And I'm like, What do you think I've been doing for the last 4 years of my life? You learn how to adjust.
like
You
if
learn-
something
yeah.
breaks, I didn't just go, well, I guess I'll wait 10
Right,
months to shit in the toilet.
There's a Murphy's Law here. You leave and everything breaks. And guess what? I don't know how to fix things, but I get to figure it out. So, learn how to move across the country 10 times and learn how to do all these wonderful things. And you just kind of adjust and whatever. But, I mean, it comes together. So,
Yeah. Well, so I was so independent that it was very difficult for me to, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to say the word allow, but kind
Right.
of allow someone else to save me if I needed it.
Right.
Someone else to fix something if it needed to be fixed. someone else that I could rely on, someone
Right.
else I mean, like, yeah, okay. You don't really need to call somebody for something high on a shelf because you have a step stool. You can go
Right.
get the step stool and step up there. But at the same time, I think I have some medical issues that cause me to have a little bit different situational thing. I am forbidden to get on a step stool now
Right.
unless my husband's home because I have fallen. I fell on a step stool out in the shop and I laid there for like 2 hours. And it was actually the two dogs, these two beautiful dogs that you see right here. Is that my phone?
No,
dinging or
it's
is
mine
yours?
being
Oh,
obnoxious. I'm sorry. I thought I put it on silent, but apparently
okay.
it's.
I'm just making sure I put mine on silent.
There we go. All better.
but,
I thought I hit that button already.
But my two dogs are the ones that got me at least up. I mean, I was down on the ground for a really long time,
Yeah.
but I had a piece of wood on top of me when I fell. And I didn't fall off the ladder. The ladder was really old and it was only a step stool, but it's
Right.
the same. It's a miniature A-frame ladder. And it was old. So it just buckled and fell and had this big piece of wood that I was hanging up and it fell on top of me. Now it was my dad's memorial plaque, big giant thing. It's like 4 feet tall and 3 feet wide or something. So it was heavy and it was big. So that probably didn't help with the weight
No.
on the ladder.
Right.
But it fell on top of me. Of course, as we're falling, I'm doing everything to protect the front of it so that the flowers don't get damaged or anything on the front of it. Which is funny when you're falling, you're trying to protect something
Right.
else, not yourself. And I fell flat on my ass and on my back, and this thing fell on top of me. It took me forever to get it up and on the side, and then I laid there for the longest time. And of course, she's licking my face, and he's, right there, and they're both like, "What are you doing? Why are you still laying on the floor?"
Right.
And the chair was quite a little ways away from me. And I was like, and I didn't have my phone or nothing. And the girls were over at the house. And I finally was like, "Charlotte, I need you to help me." So I grabbed a hold of his collar and her collar, and they drug me across the
No.
shop floor to the chair. And then when I got to the chair, I was able to get up. And I need to teach her go get my phone, retrieve my
Yeah.
phone.
She's so smart.
But because she would learn it. And anyway, I was finally able to figure out how to get the chair kind of moved and into the office and get my phone. But anyway, since that moment, I am forbidden to be on a step stool without Steve here.
Yeah.
I mean, I can get on this one that's in here that's only like this tall.
Yeah.
I can get on that step stool.
Yeah.
He's like, "You're allowed on that one. Nothing else. Nothing
Yeah.
you have to step up 2 or 3 steps on." So anyway,
Yep.
but so we're talking about, oh, and by the way, I'm Tori. I'm the host of Girl Talks. And this is Christy,
Yep.
my co-host, and we are both Marine wives, both mothers. I'm a first responder, and she does Reiki healing, and we are talking about self-care today, talking about self-love and self-love February. And when you think about self-love, what do you think?
When I think about self-love, because of the mental health background that I do have, I tend to go to recognizing backgrounds, boundaries, doing self-reflection, trying to pinpoint where things are coming from, those kinds of things. It's more about the emotional stance and figuring out what's going on. I think there's a misunderstanding with self-love with self-love and self-care. And people tend to take it and play. And I do like the idea of self-care Sunday or self-care Saturday where people take some time and they physically take care of themselves and they do the bath soaks and they do the manicures and the pedicures and the face masks. I think that's really important. I think that everybody should take time to pamper themselves.
Yeah.
But
but there's a
beyond
difference
that.
between pampering yourself and
Spoiling
self-care.
yourself.
You know?
Absolutely.
Because like self-care, when we're talking about mental health,
Right.
a lot of people suffering from mental health, and I have succumbed to this many a time, including yesterday. Like I
Right.
didn't want to get up.
Right.
I'm emotionally drained a bit.
Right.
I'm having some difficult feelings about myself right now because of everything I've just went through. And self-care is not going to a salon and having a spa day.
Right.
You know, that's great. And I
Right.
think that's a fun thing to do and that's a great thing to do. But if you're not getting up and taking a shower
Right.
and changing your clothes, getting dressed in the
Right.
mornings, actually, you know, like putting deodorant on,
Yeah.
putting a bra on. As weird as it sounds, like some of those things are, you know, don't stay in your pajamas all day.
Yep.
It are those things that are you're doing. Is it because you're in a moment of depression? Or are you going into depression? Are these signs of going into depression?
Right.
Or are they signs you're already in depression?
Right.
You know, and making a pact even with your accountability partner or your mate, your partner, your husband, your wife. Hey, if you see me in the same clothes,
Change out.
please
Yeah.
sit down with me. Don't just say something.
Yeah.
You know, see something, say something. But don't just say something. Maybe sit down with me and ask, are you okay? Are you really okay? Like, what's going on? Because if you can see the signs that your partner is not getting dressed
Right.
or not taking a shower, and you can tell if they've taken a shower.
Right.
And if they're not taking a shower and they're not getting dressed or they're not, you know, like I get up in the morning. I don't always have time for that shower because sometimes I get up at the last minute. I'm not a morning person.
Right.
So that would be helpful if I were a morning person. But first thing I do is brush my hair, brush my teeth. Then I start getting dressed or whatever. But it's very easy to succumb to that when you don't feel good.
Right.
And you don't have to be sick to not feel good.
Right.
You can just not feel like caring.
Right.
You know, and especially if you're like home by yourself a lot or you're home alone, nobody's there to see you.
Right.
Nobody gives a shit whether you wash the dishes. And that's part of self-care too.
Right.
Self-care, making the bed, you know, pulling. Now for us, I used to make the bed every day, like make the bed. But these two like to get on the bed and throw the pillows everywhere.
Right.
So it's a laziness now. Now I just need to get back to doing it because I like the way it looks. It
Me
makes
too.
me feel good when I
Like
walk
you
in the
accomplish
room.
something. Yeah.
And all
makes
my
the bed
pretty
feel
pillows
organized.
are on the
Absolutely.
bed and the bed is organized and
Right.
stuff. So I have to get my mindset out of the dogs mess up the pillows because I
Right.
can fix the pillows.
Right.
It's gotten to a lazy part of I just don't want to do it.
Right.
So I have to get myself to realize I still need to do it
Right.
regardless of whether or not the dogs mess up the pillows. And they don't mess it up that bad. I
Right.
mean, my other dog that's gone now, he used to a lot. He would jump into all the pillows and just, so I kind of miss that. But even making the bed can be considered a self-care.
Is it bothering you that you're not getting up at a specific time in the morning.
Yes.
What time of the morning do you think you should be getting up?
I think I should be getting up about 8, no later than 8:30,
Why?
because then it gives me time to have that moment by myself
Okay,
of
but
self.
who said you have to get up at 8:30?
Nobody, just myself,
Why?
because I want that time to take my shower before I get dressed, so I can make the bed, so that when I'm done with the show, I could walk in and the bed's made.
Okay, but
There's no
don't
there's
have a schedule.
No.
You can do your own schedule. You're in control. So why do you
this
have
is
to?
the schedule I want to have.
Okay, why do you need that schedule to be that time?
I don't know, because
Can-
I just was like, if I was up an hour before I really need to get up, then I could have an hour of getting myself together, because I would like to get myself together a little bit more than a ponytail and a hat every day.
Sure.
I mean, my hats will always be a part of it, because that's
Right.
like my signature. But I would like to have a little bit more time rather than. But at the same time, okay, here's a dilemma I have with that. I work very well under pressure. I work very well with having to hurry up and get things done. If I have to write a newspaper article
Right.
for somebody, and you tell me I've got 3 weeks to work on it,
Okay.
like I have one that I'm working on, I don't need it done till September. So it's going to take me, like, I'll wait until a week before it's due.
Right.
And it's not procrastination, because I have always been, even in school, I'm the person that as soon as I get an assignment, it's done. But this one, I need a lot more information, and I'm probably not going to get it right away, blah, blah, blah. But I work very, very well under, I need this by tomorrow.
Right.
I need this by Thursday.
Right.
And I'm on it, because I do very well under that pressure. So it's probably why I get up and I get going, because
Right.
it makes me wake up. It makes me get a move on, because I don't have time to dilly-dally around.
So if I hear you right, you're saying that you need to be on a routine of 9 a.m.
Yeah,
that
that's
right?
what I do now. I get up at 9. My
Okay.
alarm goes off at 9.
Okay.
And
you're beating yourself up because you're not.
because I'm not getting up an hour before that.
Right. So what if you just let yourself get up and ran your routine?
Okay.
Would you be able to get up and motivate yourself? Or
Oh,
would
I
you
do.
fall lazy?
No, I do. But
What did you bring me?
I'm He went upstairs and got the dog treats and brought them to. Oh, I have to move the camera so people can see this, because it is extremely, extremely cute that he literally went upstairs. Why is the camera doesn't want to respond now? Oh, come on.
Oh.
I hate this camera sometimes. Okay. Can you see him? Yeah. Let's see. Where is he? There he is. Look at that. He went and got the treats, brought them to Christy,
Now he wants me to scratch his butt.
and then scratch my butt. Like,
Just feed me snacks and scratch my butt. You're good. All right. So what you're saying is that you need that schedule, and there's no way around it. But you feel like you're failing, basically.
well, I mean, sort of yes and sort of no.
Okay.
Like, I feel like I've been very successful with my getting. He's so funny. I feel like I've been very successful with my cameras are going ballistic right now. I don't even know what they're doing.
It's okay, cameras. I don't want to look at me either.
Yeah, the cameras are like, we're in defiance. But I mean, I've been doing really well with the getting up at 9 o'clock. Now, Jethro, you need to give those to Christy so she can give you a treat. You're not just going to give yourself a treat,
Give me
sir.
a treat.
Yeah, you can give those to to Christy. You're not going to give yourself a treat, sir. I don't think.
Oh, it's all slimy.
He's like,
His eyes are so big right now. He's like, it worked. It worked.
it worked. She's giving them to me. Look at this. It worked.
Ooh.
You
Hey.
have to sit.
Sit,
You
baby.
guys know you have to sit down.
Sit.
Like you guys are not.
Jethro.
You guys are not allowed to do that, and you know
Good
it.
girl.
You know what you're supposed to be doing. You know the assignment. Follow the assignment, ma'am, sir.
I'm not talking to you right now. Nuh-uh.
No,
All right.
you don't go getting some more, sir.
Okay. So 9 o'clock.
So I have been doing really well with the
You have.
the
Yeah.
but now I would like to do better about the I would like to make it a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
Just
And
because I
I've-
don't feel quite so rushed.
Yeah.
I would like, but I mean, I do well with the rush it.
Yeah. I just remember Greg, when we were at the ball, Greg laughing at me getting up at 4 a.m. and him being like, that's when I go to bed, and thinking in your case, like maybe.
Mine's the same way.
Yeah. And
That's
and
when I go to bed.
Right. And that's what I was thinking was maybe you're just the opposite of me and just need that
I
space
have
for
always been
rest.
that way, but so I should clarify that too, though, for my own self-preservation, self-care, self-love, the whole thing. I am trying to re-gear myself
Okay.
because one, all the projects I have going on. In order to make the contacts and do the things I need to do. Not everybody else is up at 3 a.m. to do that,
Right.
like me.
Right.
So, and my getting, I have to be up by latest of 9:05
Right.
to be ready for this show.
Right.
Be down here at 9:30. So if I've only gone to bed at 4 a.m., that's not a good sleep cycle.
Right.
It's not healthy. It's so the self-love part comes in is that's not healthy.
Right.
And just like drinking water is healthy, drinking water is good for you.
Right.
So drinking coffee that has water in it does not count as drinking water. Damn it. Damn it, Jim. But do we want it to count as that? So when it comes to your sleep, the same thing. Do we want to say, hey, I don't have to. It's the same. It's fine. It's my schedule. It's what I do. But is that healthy? Is that the best thing for me is to be going to bed at
Well,
4
it's
a.m. and
not
getting up
really
at 9.
Fair to put you in a box and demand
True.
that you behave as everybody else does if you're not like everybody else.
True.
And there are ways to accommodate you, and like you can set up emails to be on a timer.
That automatically send out, right?
And you can do things to set yourself up for success in response, knowing, hey, this is my body, so I'm going to set these, in the way it works.
And I can do little bits of changing it.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to be in bed by 1.
Okay.
I'm trying to reset my clock.
Sure.
So that I'm going to bed by 1 o'clock.
Sure.
And getting up at 8:39.
Right.
I'm not going to set up. I have to be up by 8 o'clock. I'm never going to be that person who jumps out of bed and is like singing sunshine songs. I want to punch you in the face if you're getting up and singing sunshine. I mean, like I'm so jealous because my husband's alarm goes off. I swear to God, it's attached to a spring.
Right.
Because when his alarm goes off, he springs out of bed like,
Right.
boom,
Right.
but, and right in the shower, I mean, literally shit, shower, shave, I mean, that is his routine. He is so routine. I am so not routine.
Right.
I am not a routine person, but that's also not my personality.
Right.
I'm not a rut person. I've never been in a rut in my life.
Right.
Even if I do the same thing every day, I do it differently because I don't like ruts and I don't like feeling like I'm in a rut. But I do have some negative feelings about constantly being up all night and then not getting up early enough to where I feel comfortable getting ready for the show. So I am consciously making those efforts to change it, even if it's just a little bit. It's not that I need to change it a ton. If I call to make an appointment somewhere and they ask me what time, is morning or afternoon better? I always say afternoon because I know I'm not a morning person. And if the only time they have available is 7 a.m., well, I'm going to be there. I'm going to do the appointment. I'm going to be there on time. But I have to understand what I'm capable of as well as what I'm willing to change.
Right.
And what I want to change. I want to change these things for the better because I also want to start trying to do some kind of I'm not going to call it exercise, but yes, it's exercise. I want to do some like chair yoga or something, going for a walk. Walking is very difficult for me right now, but I want to, even if it's 10 minutes.
Right.
But just getting up and moving earlier so that I don't feel as rushed is what my goal is.
Yeah.
So that's my goal. And it's not that you have to not give yourself that permission to do those things. You also have to give yourself the permission to make the changes you want to make if it's truly you that want to make those changes.
Right.
I'm not making those changes because my husband says you need to be up by 8.
Right.
No one else is telling me I need to be up by 8 or 8:30. It's me. It's me saying I would like to be up by 8:30, because if I was up by 8:30, I would have time to make the bed and actually put all the pillows on so that when I'm done and I walk into the room, I feel proud of my space.
Yeah.
I'm happy to see it. I don't walk in it with dread going,
So when your alarm first goes off, can you think of how good it's going to feel when you see your bed made?
Yeah.
I mean, that honestly is like what helps me. Is like when because the first thing that I feel when my alarm goes off is the sheer dread.
Yeah, that's the first thing
Oh God, the alarm's going off and I do not want to move. But when my next thought is, I can't wait to feel whatever is coming next.
I think I can't wait for my coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I still have my coffee right next to my bed. And it's amazing. It's the best thing I've ever
Now, do you
done.
have it on a timer?
I do.
Okay.
It goes off at 4:02 a.m. And I hear it go, and then the little brewer goes, and I'm like, there it is. I got 3 more minutes to sit here and listen. And it starts, and I'm like, yep, I'm good.
That's like your wake up music is the trickle of the coffee making.
It's wonderful. It's wonderful.
Well, and you got to find those things. So when it comes to that
yeah.
self-care,
Yeah.
you think about the things that are taking the time to show yourself love is the healthiest and most important thing you can do for yourself and your relationship with others.
Yep.
Examples of self-love and self-care is physical self-care, which is a lot of what we've been talking about.
Yep.
Exercising regularly, healthy diet to include hydration,
Yep.
rest and relaxation, and emotional self-care, journaling, mindfulness, meditation, positive affirmations. Yep. But we have to keep in mind that the physical self-care is the getting up,
Yep.
getting showered,
Oh, yeah.
washing your hair,
Absolutely.
getting dressed.
Yeah.
And, like since I started this show, that has been a huge improvement for me is like I have to, Yes, I did purposely pick out this shirt, but the saying is on the back. You can't see it, but it's a cute little heifer shirt. But I also make a point to put pants on, like that match what I'm wearing, because then I'm going to wear that the rest of the day.
Yep.
And it's like when and I mean, I'm sitting here in a desk.
Right.
Nobody's going to see if I'm in my underwear. Nobody's going to see if I'm still wearing pajama pants or pajama bottoms or something like that. Nobody's going to see that, but I do. I see it myself and I know it. So it has helped me a lot that I have to do these things, and I don't have to because someone told me to. I have to because I want to. It's for me. It's what I know is going to make me feel better. Now, when I have those early mornings where I just happen to get up earlier, then I take a shower before the show instead of after the show, and then I can do my hair. I can blow dry it and curl my hair. But every now and then you see me come on the show and I am not wearing a hat and my hair is done because I got up early. I do like that. But do I know in my own head that I'm not consistent with that? Yes. So I'm not going to beat myself up over it.
Right.
When I do it, it's because I want to. I'm not going to beat myself up that I don't get up at 8:30 or 8 o'clock every day. I mean, there's sometimes where I wake up, I have to run to the bathroom at 7 a.m. And I'm like, well, I'm awake.
Right.
I should just get up. No, I go back to bed. Fuck that. I'm going back to bed. And it cracks me up that you're like, yeah, I'm up at 4:02. The coffee goes off. I'm like, oh, fuck all that. Like that already gives me anxiety but at the same time, like most of the time I've just gone to bed.
Right.
So I'm certainly not going to be up at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
But I've been doing this for years and years and years.
Right.
When I worked at the newspaper, I would go to bed somewhere between 2 and 4 a.m.
Right.
I was at the paper, first one there, opening the doors and unlocking it and getting coffee started for the other people. And I was there between 6 and 6:30 every morning. It didn't matter if I went to bed at 4.
Right.
See? So you've done
So
it.
I was already
You've
there,
done it.
and I was fine.
Yeah.
Like I could function off of 2 hours of sleep on a regular basis. Now come a weekend or something that I didn't have, and most weekends, quite often, I had some event I was going to cover for a feature article or something. But I could catch up on some sleep or something on the weekend, but quite often I didn't because it's just how I function. I mean, I look at our president. That man sleeps like 3 hours a night, and he functions just fine. It's how he is. It's how he was made, I guess. And there are doctors out there that'll tell you it's not good, it's not healthy. You have to get 8 hours of sleep. The average American, I looked it up, the average American sleeps about 4.5 to 5 hours.
I was going to say, I think it's 5 hours. Yeah.
So I don't think there's actual good science behind you have to sleep 8 hours.
No.
Because they can't find average people that do it.
Right. On the note of health and getting a good start to a day, I think it's something that is very underrated and something that's extremely important, and something that might help you too with waking up in the morning is physical touch. And even like as far as cuddling or something like that, it's very underrated. It's very not mentioned, I think, in a lot of ways, but it should. I would challenge you to try it and see what happens. But just starting with the physical hug every morning, even just for 2 to 3 minutes every single morning. So before Steve gets in the shower, make him hug you for 5 minutes.
He does every day.
See?
He does every day. I mean, he may not do it for 5 minutes.
Right.
But every day, and I wouldn't say it's before he gets in the shower, but every day before he leaves for work, it's a mandatory. He has to come wake me up.
Yep.
And he gives me a kiss and he gives me a hug. Sometimes he doesn't, but he always gives me a kiss.
Yep.
He always tells me to have an amazing day, and he changes up what he says every day because I have had this discussion with him.
Uh-oh.
He is a very rut person.
Yeah.
Very, very rut person. I am not. I can't stand a rut, and I can't stand when something feels automated.
Right.
Like, I had to make him stop saying I love you on the phone when he would hang up every single time.
Oh.
Because it wasn't I love you. It was love you bye. All in one sentence. Love you bye.
Yeah.
And I was like, stop doing that.
Yeah.
Like, it bothers me because it's become automated.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean anything anymore.
Yeah.
You know, like, I'm fine with when you call, you can say I love you in the beginning,
Right.
the middle, or the end. But if you're going to say it, it needs to be I love you, not love ya bye. Because love ya bye is not a word.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and do you realize you do it to your mom, your kids, me, my mom, anyone that you're on the phone? I said, I have heard you say it to people that are not family because it's so
habit.
automated.
Yeah.
I'm like, so I want you to remove that and stop
It's
doing
so
it.
awkward when that happens.
Oh my God, it really is. We said that once to
We
each
did,
other.
and we were like, oh.
She's like, love you, bye. And I was like, yeah, I love you too.
Yeah.
But I do,
Yeah.
so it's okay.
So, yeah, it's like, oh, well, we did it. We broke that seal.
Now, who said I love you first?
Yep.
That's what at least we can tell our husbands. I am having a love affair.
Exactly.
But it's funny because when I told him that, how it was making me feel, I said, it honestly doesn't make me feel loved.
Right.
It makes me feel like an obligation.
A habit.
Yeah,
Yep.
I don't want to be a habit. I don't want to be an obligation.
Right.
If you want to say I love you, I want you to genuinely say I love you.
Right.
And to some people, they're like, well, that was mean. Like, that was rude for you to tell him that. And
No,
he's
because
telling
anybody can say it. You can say you say it to
said-
everybody you talk to. Why am I
said-
special?
Yeah. And I said, but so I should not be true to my feelings because it might hurt his feelings, but maybe he doesn't even know he's doing it.
Right.
I'm like, what it comes down to is if you have a broken glass and you go to drink out of it and you don't understand why there keeps ending up with water on your table, maybe if you investigate that glass, you find out it's broken, you can fix it.
Right.
Well, if you don't know, you're not going to be. He just loves you today. And his little nub is just going a million miles an hour. He's so funny. But it's like you can't, someone doesn't know something that's bothering you or upsetting you if you don't tell them.
Right.
And so I try to make the effort to, this is how it made me feel. And he literally was like, I don't even realize I do it.
Right.
Like, I'm like, yeah, because it's become so automated that it doesn't really mean anything. And I said, so how, and he goes, so how do we fix that? How do I change that? And I'm like, well, just mix it up to where sometimes you don't say it at the very end of the call. Sometimes if you feel like you have to say it every call, every time you talk to me, then say it at the beginning, say it in the middle, say it in the end. But say actually I love you versus love you bye. And I said, and here's a twist. Sometimes don't say it at all. I'm like, you don't have to. Like I know that you love me. So it's not like a mandatory, you have to say it every time we talk because it's not going to make me think, oh shit, he didn't say I love you. Yeah, I'm not gonna feel that way unless we're in a fight and then you purposely don't. Then I'm gonna maybe think something.
Yeah.
But that's part of self-love too, I think, is being honest and true to your feelings.
Yeah.
Whether it's with yourself or with your mate, is honestly being true to your feelings. So what no one tells you about self-love, you sent to me the other day. So I'm going to play this
Yeah.
for people. That is a really good point. Is
Yeah.
you don't have to like yourself that
love
day,
yourself. Yep.
but you have to take loving yourself as a job.
Yep. I agree.
There is so much too, and we've all heard it.
Yeah.
You can't love someone else till you love yourself.
Right.
But what does that really mean?
Right.
You know, what does it
It's
really
so
mean?
easy to say, but it's really hard to understand.
It is really hard to understand. And, you know, the self-affirmations are a good thing.
Right.
But I honestly think some of that can be, like we were just talking about with the lullaby.
Right.
They can be an automated thing.
Right.
You see that you're beautiful. Oh, you're beautiful. Oh,
Right.
you're
And then it's
beautiful.
just
Oh, you're
automated. You don't,
beautiful. It doesn't
needs
have
to be
any
really
meaning behind
singled
it.
out. You really need to be able to look at yourself and say, I really like what you're wearing. I'm really grateful for. Have you, so when I was doing my meditation classes, there was one exercise that we had to do. And it was, you would think it, oh my God, I'm going to tear up even just thinking about it. It seemed so cheesy and so ridiculous when we started it, but doing it was so impactful. We had to put our hands on our heart and we had to thank our heart, like, and say, thank you for getting me through what I had to go through. And just whatever came to mind, thank you for beating. And we had to thank different parts of our bodies. Thank you to our hands for holding us up. Thank you to our whatever. And it was
Right.
like, oh my God. And just thank
You're right. That is an emotional thing because, like, you know, your heart is the beating organ that powers the blood and oxygen through our bodies.
Yeah, and think of how many times it's been broken and
Right.
had to keep
Like-
going.
And that's a connection between your brain and your heart.
Yes.
You know, because there is a true thing that your heart reacts to what's going on with your body,
Yeah.
your emotional state, your mental health is a big
Yes.
part of that, and that's a connection between your brain and your heart. And so a little medical fact here: if you have a trauma, a medical trauma, you have a car accident or you have a physical trauma. I lived through one of these, but if you have a physical trauma to your body, everybody hears the word sphincter and they think asshole, you know, and they think your butt.
Yeah.
And there are sphincter muscles throughout your
Everywhere.
body.
Yep.
And your body, this amazing device that we walk around in and carry has the capability between the brain and the heart to understand I'm dying. Like something is wrong here. And I don't need my limbs. I don't need my legs to live. So it will literally shut down the sphincters Now, I'm not talking about a bleed out. I'm not talking about when something is severed. It doesn't have that ability. But if it is functioning and there's something else going on, it can have the ability to shut down
a part of your body.
parts of your body and say, I
can
only
carry
need
on.
this to survive.
Yep.
And that's when you hear quite often, people don't understand what it means when it says the organs are shutting down, like the
Yeah.
kidneys are shutting down, the liver is shutting down. That's what's happening. Is your body, your brain, and your heart are saying, I no longer need my kidneys to live. So I'm going to shut my kidneys down. I'm going to shut the liver down. I'm going to shut the pancreas. I'm shutting all these and yes, we do need them to live. But to keep this and this going, you need three things: your lungs, your brain, and your heart. Mm-hmm. Your body can stay alive with those three organs. Mm-hmm. So it can just pump between those organs to keep you going and keep your breath coming into your lungs, oxygenation, and then the blood gets oxygenated in the lungs and it oxygenates the brain and it feeds the blood and oxygen to the brain, to the heart, to the lungs, back and forth. So those other things are not needed to live. They are a benefit. They are an absolute benefit, because realistically we could lay in a bed and never move and your heart, lungs, and brain continue to function, and you can live that way. Is it living? I beg to differ there, but that we have to think about that from that other perspective of that means those are the things that take on the majority of everything.
Yep.
So when you're hurt emotionally, your brain and your heart are taking that hit, and they're taking that hit, and they're taking that hit, and they're taking that hit. And you have to heal your heart, and you have to heal your brain, and your emotional and physical. That's the way I look at that, because if you
Absolutely.
get up and you take that shower, you're helping to heal that physical part, which is your brain or your heart, because you're making it move, you're making it work harder, you're making it earn its keep, so to speak. And the emotional is helping with the brain part of it.
Yes.
So together, those two things, I really hope somebody's not showing up right now. But those two things are so important for us to nurture.
Yes.
So you have to nurture your heart, and the way you nurture your heart so that you have self-love is going for that walk so that you make that cardio work.
And saying those things. And it honest to goodness, it was the most healing and therapeutic thing was talking to my heart, which it sounds like the dumbest thing on the planet.
Yeah,
But saying,
but
I
get
see
it.
you, I love you, I'm so grateful you're here.
Yeah.
I'm so grateful we survived what we did.
right.
And yeah, it was just crazy, but it was so nice to just do that, and it let everything go. It it just released. So yeah, that would be for sure,
Yeah, that's a huge part, because you do have to realize these are the things that have kept you going.
Yeah.
And as difficult as some things that you go through are, it's because of these other things that you're still here and you're still trucking
Right.
along. So you can work through those emotional things that you've been through, but only because you have a heart that's still beating,
Yeah.
and it's still working. And, I say this all the time, and it's true, but it's funny. But did you die?
Right.
No, because if you didn't die, then you have something to live for.
Yep.
So that means you have a reason to get up and take a shower, get up and brush your hair, get up and do things, because there are some people that, but did you die? Yes.
Yeah.
Like I went on my cruise, and when somebody, and sadly I can use this, but when I went on my cruise and it was so bad and I got so sick and I ended up in medical. Now I've seen every part of a cruise ship.
Yeah.
I said, I took you on the most expensive excursion, the ER,
Yeah.
in a ship. But I could look at it like a really bad experience.
Yeah.
I went on a cruise and I spent 2.5 days in my room, isolated, not able to participate in anything that was going to happen. And this art program that I belonged to that was part of that cruise, there was over 400 people there with that. They all got to mingle with each other, network, and do all the things that they get to do. They won't be doing that cruise again until 2029. They do one every 4 years. And every 2 years, they do it's on land. And then every 2 years, they do an annual or an event. So and next year, 2027, it'll be on land. Then on 2029, it'll be at sea again. So I don't have until 2029 that I can meet up with all these people again on a ship. Mm-hmm. But I also don't have to look at a ship like, oh, I never want to go on a cruise again because this is a bad thing. Yes, I had a bad experience, but it's because I got sick from something. Take that as a warning. Mm-hmm. Don't eat the ice when you are in Nassau or somewhere in Mexico. And they say don't drink the water. But I honestly never put 1 and 2 together when there was ice in my rum punch. And that's got to be what it was.
Yeah.
Because primarily, everything else I ate probably was, and obviously it could have been something else, but I didn't eat any food on land. So I attribute it to that. But did you die? No, I didn't. So I can look at it like, okay, I got something out of it. I did have a good time on the time I was out. My room was nice. I had a balcony. I was able to sit outside and enjoy the outdoor when I was starting to feel better. But there was another lady brought into the ER before me that had a heart situation happen. Don't know her, didn't meet her, never even got to see her. I just knew about it. I knew about it before I ever even went down because my mother-in-law was down in the room and I said, that's a med helicopter. And I saw it just go by. And then she's like, oh, there's another one. I'm like, no, that's the same one. It's circling. I said, they have a medical emergency. They're circling the boat. Not a boat. It's a ship. It's huge. But they were circling the ship. And they escorted us to Miami, and we went to Miami, and it's really sad because that same phrase I just used for myself, but did you die? Yes, she did. Yep. They got her to Miami. They got her to they got her to the hospital, but she ended up passing away. And we didn't find this out from the crew on the ship. We didn't find this out from anybody out there. We found this out from a family member. My mother-in-law was in an elevator with a lady who looked very sad, and my mother-in-law was just trying to be nice and said, are you okay? And she said, no, I'm not okay. My sister-in-law died yesterday. She was taken to Miami. And she said, oh, was she the one that was down in the medical unit? And she's like, yeah. And she goes, my family was down there too. And we were praying for you. We knew there was something serious going on because we were getting routed to Miami. And she said, yeah, it was my sister-in-law. And she ended up passing away very shortly after they got her to the hospital, I guess. And of course the medical staff there, they can't share that information. And, so you look at that, what you just said, thank you. Thank you for getting me through this because I was very sick. If I didn't get the antibiotics that I got quickly, if I didn't get the fluids, I probably would have, it was like a mild dysentery.
Right.
if I didn't get some fluids to rehydrate my body, I was already to a point that I could not pick up the phone. I had already, and my vision, because I was like, why can't I see?
Right.
So all these things were starting to happen. And if I went much longer, my body would have succumbed to it. So, luckily I had enough sense to say, no, I need to go to medical. And I did go to medical. And then there's some beautiful things that can happen, because of something sad, something, that you didn't expect to have happen. So one of the things that happen is when you're at sea, you generally do not get to see cruise ships, because cruise ships are quite often, they are out at sea when the lights are on at night and the parties are happening. It's very rare you get to see a cruise ship in that state with they're usually boarding or they're embarking or disembarking, so people are either getting on or getting off, and there's no lights and there's no party and there's no music, and it's a process of getting underway, so you don't get to see the ship in that state. So there is a group that's called the Cruise Ship Spotter, and they spotted, and they had a aerial drone that took aerial of our actual ship. So I'm showing it right now on the screen. That is our actual ship. I don't know if you can hear it.
Nope.
There, I think I turned it down.
Nope.
But that. But that's our actual ship partying on board. 90% of the people on board that ship had no idea we were in Miami.
That's funny.
Because they didn't tell anybody we're going to Miami. Now, they did give me and my mother-in-law the option of getting off in Miami and going to the hospital.
Yeah.
And I said, I think, with the steroid shot and the antibiotics and the fluids, I should be okay. And we only had one more full day at sea. So they said, if you're not better, they left my IV in. If you're not better by tomorrow, you are coming back up here and you will stay in medical till we get back. But I immediately started getting better from the steroids and the antibiotics they gave me. So I'm very grateful to that. So I'm very grateful to my body.
Yeah.
For responding to it, because I could have been already, because he said, depending on where we caught this, is whether or not your body will quickly respond. Yeah. It did quickly respond, and I was better. Literally, each day, I think I talked to you every day, and I was like, I'm better today. Yeah. I'm even better today. And I'm still not at 100%. Yeah. And I can feel it, because I see food right now, and I'm like, yeah. Yeah. My immediate response is, maybe. And it's going to take me a while to see a glass of ice and water. Yeah. Because right now I'm looking at that not, no. Yeah. The first dinner I had, which was the very last night on the ship, I was allowed to go to dinner. I was released from medical at 7:15. Dinner was at 7:30. Yeah. I went dressed as I was and went to dinner. Yeah. And it was, the staff was so amazing. They were so good to me. So it was really cool. But it's funny because they said a glass of water, and normally I want lemons for my water. So they brought me my little plate of lemons. All I did was eat the lemons. Yeah. I wasn't touching that. Now, they filter their water on the ship. Right. They're very, very big about it, but my brain
was like, no,
could not.
It was over it. Yeah.
I could not put water to lips. Not happening. Yep. So I just got released from medical, and instead of having a water, which is healthier, right? Right. I had a lemon drop. I had a like alcoholic drink,
Oh.
and then I got a second one because they misunderstood when I was like, "No, I'm fine," and they thought I meant give me another one, so I had two.
Yeah.
But that's fine. So I'm going to talk a little bit about a celebrity. I don't like to do a whole lot of talking about celebrities on our show because we're not a celebrity show. But when it comes to self love and things like that, Demi Moore is somebody who comes to mind for me. Drew Barrymore too. That other clip was on Drew Barrymore's show.
Yeah.
She comes to mind very much because she is very much about self-love and self-care and self-healing.
Yes. She's been through a lot.
She's been through a lot. And where she's, you know, I mean, she was a girl that was 10 years old addicted already.
Yeah.
You know, she was in her first rehab at 14.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you don't go to rehab at 14 if you're not already a massive addict.
Yeah.
So, huge props to Drew for loving herself enough to get out of that. That's the way I look at it. And anything that you're going through, loving yourself enough to get out of it or fix it or change it, whether it's a habit or whatever, you have to love yourself enough to want to do that.
Yeah.
And yes, that is, like he said, that's a job.
It is.
It is a job to get up every day and say, you're going to get up, you're going to take a shower, you're going to get dressed, you're going to do your hair, you're going to make your bed, you're going to, those are chores that you have to give yourself because of how you feel after the fact.
Yep.
Because it does make you feel better.
Yep.
But Demi Moore has spoken about her self-love and the importance of self-belief. She has said that the world will change to reflect how you see yourself and that the only voice that matters is the one inside your head. And that is so very important because she was always with somebody. Now, I didn't know some of her story. I'm going to read her book. I have not read her book yet, but she has a book out. And I didn't realize what kind of trauma she had gone through as a kid. Her parents were horrible. Her father abandoned them, but he was also abusive. Her mother sold her to a friend for $500 for sexual favors at like, I can't remember the age, very young. I think she was around 13 or younger than that. So she was traumatized and used at a very young age, and it continued. She got into an addiction, and then she was, in my opinion, it's one of those hard ones where you see somebody like that get into a relationship when she had with Ashton Kutcher, and he was so much younger than her. I saw it ahead of time. I was like, that's not going to work. He's going to cheat on her. And that's one of the worst parts about Hollywood. Okay. Is there's no, the boundaries are very slim. And you know the couples who have really great boundaries and really great relationships when they're still with their wives 25, 30 years later. And, you know, one that comes to mind, he played Bond.
Pierce Bronson?
Yeah, and his wife. And I see sometimes people will just, she's fat, she's this, and he's like, and he's been interviewed like, are you okay with the fact that you're And I have no idea when we lost sound, but our mics were muted by StreamYard. It's another reason why we're fucking leaving StreamYard. Because StreamYard likes to fuck with our sound, which there is literally no reason. I have a board. There is no reason for it other than StreamYard fucks it up. So again, another reason why we're leaving StreamYard. So I don't know what you heard on that last end of things, but oh well. I hope you heard something.
We hope you heard you're fucking awesome.
Anyway, you are fucking awesome. That's our affirmation for the day. You are fucking awesome. So have a wonderful day, and we will see you here tomorrow, 10 to 11:30 Central Time. And don't forget to follow all of our socials and our YouTube channel at Girl Talks, GURLTAUX. That's our name on all of our socials. See you there. Have a great day. Bye.